see what happens to old boats here in the Philippines. This is it right here. May have been a storm or something, maybe a typhoon. There was one at Christmas time, so maybe that wrecked this thing, but you can also kind of see the construction. That's how this is built here. This is fiberglass. They put fiberglass on the wood there. Really big hull. Pretty long. They got a lot of stainless steel bolts in here. See right here? You got a stainless steel bolt right there. Stainless steel bolt right there. And they got some stainless steel bolts going through here, maybe to get the like cross brace or like what do they call it? Yeah, this is fiberglass. This is a fiberglass boat. They had plywood, just 1/8 inch thick plywood. It's really thin, super thin. I don't doubt that it broke. There's the interior of it, right there. And this is basically where the engine went, right in here. And then, see, they got that's where the drive shaft went through, right there. That right there is where the drive shaft went through. So the engine mounted right here. I'm going to shrink it back to the right size here. Engine mounted in these. See right, that bolt over there. But they did fiberglass it, which I don't really see fiberglass here on Bantayan Island. They may have it somewhere else, but you don't see much fiberglass here. But yeah, this is definitely a fiberglass boat. This is 1/4 inch plywood here, by the way. This is 1/4 inch. And look back at the back, it looked like 1/8 inch, or maybe it's just rotted away or something with a little fiberglass ply on the outside and inside. This is engine cooling. I don't know if you saw my other video about the island hopping boat, but the water from the engine's here. You know, it doesn't have a radiator, but what it does, it pumps water into here. This goes through here, comes out the side there. And then you run a long pipe back there, and then you elbow it or make a little U-joint and come all the way back up here and then back inside and then return into the engine. But the water on the outside as it passes by cools the water in that pipe that is from your engine. So we're tied down, we're lashed down pretty good. And I know, you know, for a pretty well crashed out boat, they tied it down pretty good. Here's a rope. They got a big rope here, and it's also tied back over that way. See the rope going here, tied over there somewhere. So they really don't want this thing to get away, even though it's pretty rough shape. And see, there's where the drive shaft comes out. And again, they don't use rubber seals. You see a piece of bamboo stuck in there? They shove a piece of bamboo in there and hope it kind of seals it enough that it doesn't leak too much, and then they just have somebody pumping the bilge all the time because they do leak. And there's an exhaust coming out right there. It was called, oh, it just had the barangay name, Bunakan, Madre Dios, Cebu. Cebu's the province, Madre Dios is the island, Bunakan, and hopefully you're not getting too much wind noise. Bunakan is the village or the barangay. So here we have actual floating boats, and there we have, I did a video on that one there. That one is the barangay captain's husband. Used to be, he actually sold it to somebody. They said they was going to come get it, but it's been sitting there ever since. He paid for it. He paid $700,000, the guy that bought it from him, and I think it cost him $700,000 to build. So he kind of broke even on that deal. Here's your outriggers here. This is big timbers. Usually it's bamboo, but on a boat this size, I guess it's timbers. Yeah, even on that one there. This is probably a comparable boat to what this boat was in its day, but big 4x4s and stuff. on there for the outriggers to tie them to. The outriggers will be bamboo. See, like those. They got 5 big bamboos, big, like 3 or 4 inch diameter bamboos there. Got 5 on that one, 5 on this side too. That's the one that I've written on. If you look at the, I forget what the name is. Oh wow, they're painting another one down here. I gotta go over under this rope. I can go under. Okay, they're painting another one down here. But there's plenty of wrecked boats because they buy them and they don't have money to maintain them. So they wind up like this because they can't maintain them. They spend all their money that they make on fishing on, oh mercy, what's that? That's what they spend it on. Tanduay and Emperador and whatever else. Now this guy, he's got fiberglass on the inside of his boat. You can see that weave there. No, he doesn't have fiberglass. He's got what I'm going to have, which is a black fishnet, and then you epoxy over it, and it's like fiberglass, but supposedly it's supposed to last a long time, like 5 years or more. The guy that builds the boats, he's got his hull. Mainly they do the hulls. They usually don't do the insides. They just paint them. But the hull he did 5 years ago, and it still looks fine. So more than 5 years. There's people out there. I don't know if you can see their little fish basket by them. They're feeling the ground, getting, I don't know, clams or something off of out of the sandy floor there, and putting them in that box. Not sure I know who owns this boat that's upside down, but I think I do. It's a Dutch guy. He actually was a subscriber of mine and came here to Bantayan Island and met a girl. And she talked, oh wow, I'll show you what happened here. Typical stuff. They set the boat. Yeah, they turned it upside down so it wouldn't fill with water. But where they propped it up, you can see it was on the thin part of the hull, and it just ripped right through all that and cracked all the boat up. You can see right there, that bamboo is supposed to be over here at this corner, but because of the weight of the boat, it just crushed it. So yeah, he's not painting it, but he bought it for this girl's family, and they don't maintain stuff, and so they just think they'll call the Dutch guy up next time something breaks, the engine or needs repairs or what have you, and they figure he'll open the wallet and give them some money and fix their boat. So I think he quit doing that, so that was kind of smart of him. So anyway, they do tie the rod to here, see this here, so that it doesn't swing too far. It doesn't go around the opposite way or backwards or whatever. So they've actually got this 300, 400 pound monofilament line test, keeping the rudder from flipping around or going too far, one left or right. So anyway, the main thing I wanted to show you is just that boat that's all tore up, and some of these other little fishing boats here. Like I said, this is just standard way they look right here, and they'll just run them until they look like those ones that are broken, and then try to borrow some money from somebody and get it fixed so they can go fishing again. But they got a little, but this is probably like an active fishing boat, even though it's not in very good shape and all the paint's all burned off. But they probably, if there's a motor in there, it looks like there might be one underneath that plastic there. I don't know, I'm not gonna dig around in their boat, but that's pretty much what fishing boats are like. Well, I guess I can't say that. Here's better shape. These are in better shape here. These are active. All right. Well, I have to narrate this part because the wind noise was getting really, really bad. But these are your other fishing boats that are typical.
in-use boats that are sort of maintained. You know, people, uh, the older guys, they usually will pull their boats out of the water and paint them like every 6 months or so, or a year. The newer guys, though, they aren't following, you know, those older, you know, traditions. They just kind of let them rot as they go. But a good boat is good for maybe 3 years or 4 years before it really starts getting kind of nasty. And that's just painted. They do use epoxy paints and stuff like that now that are more durable. So the newer stuff, and if you invest a little bit more and get good epoxy paint, well, then your boat will last maybe 5 years before you have to.
That boat there is still a good boat. And he used to haul eggs and bamboo and stuff from Negros and Panay. Panay is, I don't know if you can see those pyramids out there. See them right there? Right there. There's two pyramids. Those are islands right off the coast of.
All right, I'm doing narration again because of wind noise. Every time I point the camera that way, it just starts howling. So anyway, over to the left there is Negros Island. So he would haul eggs and bamboo and whatever people wanted to haul in that big boat there to the left. It's called the Nina Perla right there. So anyway, that's a good boat there. And there's a bunch of fish traps here. These are some big fish traps and then some smaller fish traps. And then down here, this is a old what they call Costco. It's a dugout tree, and that makes the hull of all these boats that you see. It's a big. They're all from trees that they cut down, and then they slice them in half or so, and then they hollow them out like a dugout canoe. And this one here is about 30 inches wide, and I'd say close to 40 feet long. It's a huge tree they cut down. Supposedly that's illegal now. They don't want you to be cutting these big trees down anymore, but uh, you'll see that they still do it. All the boats are still made with that kind of hull. So anyway, I'm gonna try to find my motorcycle. I parked it over here, around the corner here, and you'll also see like a load of bamboo here in just a second. And if you ever need bamboo, see that there on the ground? That's about one load of bamboo. They're about 70 pesos each, maybe, for that size, about a 3 to 4 inch diameter. And you can get them, they'll drive them there on a sidecar for you. So, anyway, that's the Nina Perla. And we will be back with more from my paradise on Bantayan Island. Bye for now.